Hello friends, welcome to Knowledge Galaxy to rediscover the basics with Mayank Tiwari, a premier coaching and training channel dedicated to metallurgy studies and consultancy. Established to cater the needs of students, degree, diploma and AM/IIM metallurgy competitive and recruitment exams for GATE, SAIL and various other private companies, metallurgical industries and whosoever seeking knowledge and information about various subjects and topics of metallurgy, operational process optimization, productivity improvement analysis, concepts like 5S, total productive maintenance, TPM, quality circle, QC, root cause analysis, RCA, ISO systems, QMS, EMS and OSHAS, practical and effective communication English, written and spoken. In this video, I will be sharing knowledge about refractories, various types, properties and uses in particular context to ferroalloys. So let's start. First, refractories introduction. Refractories are those materials which can withstand the furnace operating atmosphere. Furnace operating atmosphere includes high temperature, corrosive action of generated gases, slag and metal, abrasion and stresses applied by the load of charged materials, refractories itself, gases generated and due to expansion and contraction of refractories on heating and thermal shock. Refractories are so important in any manufacturing process that without refractories, any of the industrial manufacturing processes can never be think of. So, refractories can be stated as the foundation stone of industrial manufacturing. The lifespan of refractories lining has a serious effect on furnace performance, output and costs, etc. Furnace burnouts caused by low quality refractories or poor lining leads to considerable downtime of the furnace and huge losses of production and thereafter loss of electrical power for furnace heating after repairs. Refractories in furnace linings are exposed to thermal, chemical and mechanical wear and should therefore possess high physico-chemical properties. A metallurgist should have a perfect knowledge of these properties and should be able to determine the quality of the refractories, ensure adequate maintenance after properly lining a furnace. Refractories in ferroalloys production are used not only for furnace linings but also for casting alloys and for lining roasters and crucibles for thermic metallurgy. Types of refractories. The refractories are classified according to their chemical nature. The refractories which do not react with acidic slag but very easily react with basic slag are known as acidic refractories. The refractories which do not react with basic slag but very easily react with acidic slag are known as basic refractories. The refractories which do not react with either acidic slag or basic slag are known as neutral refractories. Examples of acidic, basic and neutral refractories are acidic refractories, silica bricks, fire clay, silicon carbide. Basic refractories, limestone, calcined lime, crushed magnesite, magnesite bricks, smelted magnesite, dolomite, tar bonded dolomite, magnesite chromite and chromite magnesite. Neutral refractories, carbon, tungsten carbide, titanium carbide, etc. Some refractories behave both like acidic and basic. These refractories are called amphoteric. This property depends on the composition of the refractory. Amphoteric refractories behave like acidic in presence of stronger basic slag, and amphoteric refractories behave like basic in presence of stronger acidic slag. Example of such a refractory is alumina bricks. Properties of refractories. The following most important properties should be provided in refractories. First, refractoriness. It is the capacity of a material to withstand high temperatures. It is characterized by the temperature at which a standard specimen of the material loses its initial form by gravity. Fire resistivity. It is the capacity of the material to retain its initial form under load at high temperatures. It is characterized by the temperature at the beginning of deformation under a load of 2 kg per square centimeter. It is also known as refractoriness under load, that is RUL. Spalling resistivity. It is the capacity of a material to retain its mechanical strength under repeated sudden changes of temperature. To determine spalling resistivity, 6 normal bricks are heated up to 850 degrees Celsius and then cooled in running water. These procedures are repeated until they lose 20% of their initial weight, the number of consecutive temperature changes being the characteristic of spalling resistivity. Chemical stability or slag stability. It is the capacity of a material to resist at high temperatures chemical corrosion by slags or melts which form easy fusing compounds with refractories. To test the refractory, it is submerged in melted slag heated to a given temperature. Mechanical strength. It is determined by the capacity of a material to resist compressive stresses. It should be noted that the strength of various refractories varies with the rise of temperature. For example, at normal temperatures, a magnesite brick is 2 to 3 times as strong as a silica brick, while at 1600 degrees Celsius, a silica brick is 2 to 3 times as strong as magnesite brick. Heated up, some refractories tend to contract, others to expand. Contraction leads to a loss of structural strength, while expansion may entail the crushing of the brickwork. Heat conductivity. It is the capacity of the material to conduct heat. The heat conductivity of most of the refractories rises with the rise of temperature. Lower heat conductivity of the lining materials means lower heat losses and lower electrical power consumption per ton of ferroalloys produced. Electrical conductivity. It is characterized by specific resistance. Types and uses of refractories. Silica bricks. The raw materials for its manufacture are quartz and quartzite. These materials are almost pure silica, that is SiO2. Prepared silica contains 92 to 96% SiO2. The rest being impurities Al2O3, Fe2O3 and CaO. CaO is added mainly as a binder and mineralizing agent. To this end, from 2 to 2.2% of lime water is added to the silica mixture for providing mineralization. Silica softening temperature is 1650 degrees Celsius, is very close to its fusion point, that is about 1750 degrees Celsius. Silica is seldom used in ferroalloys production. The use of silica in ferroalloys furnaces may be recommended only for coating carbon linings in smelting silicon alloys. This is done to protect the carbon linings during the heating up periods as well as for heat insulation, particularly in lightweight silica. Crushed magnesite. It is manufactured by calcining natural magnesite at 1650 degrees Celsius. Calcining at this high temperature prevents subsequent moisture absorption and contraction. Uses of crushed magnesite: for sintering furnace hearths in low carbon ferromanganese smelting practice, for filling the magnesite lining joints of furnaces smelting refined ferrochrome, filling the space between the furnace shell and its lining. This filling serves as thermal insulation and bumper which takes all the stresses caused by thermal expansion. Magnesite bricks. It is manufactured from the crushed magnesite. Iron scales are added to the mixture to improve calcination, and 2 to 2.5% of finely ground red clay, that is alumina, and approximately 5% of water are added to provide better heat resistivity. Bricks pressed from this mixture are fired at about 1650 degrees Celsius. The fired bricks consists of periclase crystals cemented by silicates. Magnesite bricks assay at least 90% MgO and at most 3% CaO. The specific weight of magnesite bricks is 3.5 to 3.6 gram per cubic centimeter. Its refractoriness is about 2000 degrees Celsius. Magnesite bricks well withstand basic slag effect. They lack fire resistivity. Sudden temperature changes causes spalling. The electrical conductivity of magnesite bricks rises with rise of temperature. Loss of mechanical strength comes at temperatures considerably below its fusion point, since its softening temperature is 1500 degrees Celsius. Magnesite bricks are used widely in the hearth and wall lining of furnaces smelting ferrochrome, ferrotungsten, and low carbon ferromanganese. Smelted magnesite. It is obtained by smelting crushed magnesite in an arc furnace. The smelting of crushed magnesite removes the impurities such as Fe2O3, Al2O3 and raises the MgO content to 98%. The temperature of softening of smelted magnesite is 1675 degrees Celsius. Practice has shown that the resistivity of furnace linings with smelted magnesite is higher than that of usual magnesite, so is its cost. Fire bricks. It is a neutral refractory. It is manufactured from fired refractory clay. It contains approximately 62% SiO2, 35% Al2O3 plus TiO2, 2% Fe2O3, 0.7% CaO and 0.3% MgO. The presence of ferrous oxide and calcium oxide is undesirable because it considerably lowers the fusion point of a fire brick. The refractoriness of fire brick is 1670 to 1730 degrees Celsius. The softening temperature of fire brick is 1150 to 1350 degrees Celsius. Its specific weight is 2.5 to 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter. Its heat resistance is high. Its heat conductivity and electrical conductivity are low. The fire brick is the cheapest refractory. It is used wherever technically possible. It is used for the thermal insulation of ferroalloy furnaces, hearths and walls, as well as for the lining of all furnace elements not exposed to high temperatures. Ladles and launders may also be lined with it. Carbon blocks. They are neutral refractories. They are made of anthracite or fine coke with pitch as a binder. They are able to withstand temperature up to 2000 degrees Celsius. Carbon blocks are distinguished by high stability against acidic as well as basic slags containing no oxides, capable of being restored by carbon at given temperatures. The heat resistivity of carbon blocks is satisfactory. Rapid cooling causes cracks. High mechanical strength is a feature of the refractory at both low and high temperatures. Its heat and electrical conductivities are high. At temperatures above 500 degrees Celsius, carbon linings should be protected against air or gases containing oxygen as well as against water vapor, since carbon oxidizes at these temperatures. Consequently, furnace shells lined with carbon blocks should be airtight. Adequate servicing prolongs the service life of a carbon lining to 5 or more years. Carbon blocks are widely used for lining furnaces, smelting silicon alloys and ferrotungsten, as well as for lining of tap holes and launders. Hope you liked the content and found the video worth. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel. Also remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the notification of the new videos promptly. Thank you very much for watching the video. See you in the next video.